will have done. Yesterday for the seniors, their races were 13 laps. For the juniors, it was 10 laps. Today, it's 13 for the juniors, 16 for the seniors in the superheats. Come to the finals, it's 21 and 25 laps.
And as you mentioned, the championship contenders at the top end of the standings in both categories have actually really struggled here this weekend. It seems to be the champion of the underdog here at Cremona for the fourth round of the Champions of the Future Euro Series. The man who starts from pole position in the superheat is going to be in fantastic fashion. Alexander Bondarev, we caught up with him after his 5 from 5 delivery yesterday evening.
Well, we just spoke to you earlier on, Alexander, but we're speaking to you again because another 5 for 5 solid weekend, perfect points. I mean, how are you feeling after that?
Yeah, it feels good after the start. I drove back to P3, but I managed to get into the lead and, pull away. So, yeah, I'm very happy with the speed we have this weekend. And, yeah, I'll try to carry it on to tomorrow.
Again, like we said, tomorrow is another day, plenty to happen. Let's talk a little bit about what your plan is for tomorrow, because obviously starting on pole in the Super A, obviously your plan is to lead that race, come first and end the final and top as well. But how do you feel? Is that going to be the case? How are you feeling? Is everything still working well?
Yeah, I feel like we have the confidence. We had the speed the whole weekend, so I think we won't have a problem with speed tomorrow. The only thing would be to manage the race and get a good pace throughout. But yeah, I think we have good confidence for tomorrow.
It will be good, won't it? Well, we'll let you rest up and get yourself ready for tomorrow. There you go. Look, breathe the sweat away. That's real athlete sweat, that is. Their athlete sweat. Mate, congratulations. Well done. 5 for 5. Solid effort.
Thank you.
Certainly was a solid effort. It takes an awful lot of hard that have been accumulated. You still have to make it work. You still have to try and go through the motions. But at least if something does go wrong in the superheat, it doesn't necessarily mean your weekend is over. So, let's go through the starting grid for Superheat 1A in the OK Juniors. It is Alexander Bondarev and Dries van Langendonk, Tibor Ramekes and Stepan Antonov, Jacopo Martinese and Tiziano Monza, Mies Huben and Noah Wolf from Alfie Slater and Scott Lindblom, Kit Belowski and Meryl Beldez from Andy Consani and Noah Montero, Marianita. Things go from reasonably exciting to fever pitch. They come off the final turn in the tram lines. Lights go out straight away. We're under starters orders. Perfect start from the inside line. Tibor Ramekes already starting to threaten Bondarev into the first corner as the inside line makes the big jump. So it's Bondarev, Ramekes, Martinez, Hubert and Slater. They absolutely charge through to the top 5. Van Langendonk finds himself languishing back in P6 as everybody works their way through. There's a little bit of argy-bargy in the middle. 1 or 2 drivers going slightly airborne, but managing to land on all 4 wheels and with the kart still kart-shaped. So as they come through onto the back straight, it's already looking pretty exciting up the front end of the field. Bondarev under pressure from Ramekes.
Perfect start from the inside row. The outside row with Dries van Langendonk leading that one just did not get away from the start-finish line.
Technical flag on the very first lap. Marie Barryberg, the privateer from Norway, unfortunately has picked up a technical on the very first lap. So I wonder if she's either lost a side pod or a front fairing early doors.
Well, there's already carts going off here in the mid-pack section, but yeah, certainly not the way you want to start your day.
Bondarev down in 3rd.
Yeah, he's now having to gain a few positions here now. Well, Bondarev then not leading the way. Ramekes is certainly a good start for him. He's under pressure though from Martinese, who is all over that rear bumper. And again, this could be the story all the way throughout this race. The two of them on identical carts, and they will push all the way to the end of this race. But certainly it's going to be a very interesting run and change. Martinez down the inside, and he gets the lead of this race. A solid start.
They've got to be so careful, these two. They're obviously teammates and running in the same colours. So Martinez and Ramekes in the same awning. They've got to be so careful that they don't trip each other up in their quest to win the superheat. But Jacopo Martinez has got through. It looks like Martinez is not the only one to get past, because Bondarev has also got through Ramekes with a little bit of hesitation from Mies Huben. Alfie Slater's got Dries van Langendonk now alongside him as he's come through. So Van Langendonk trying to get through on the inside of Mies Huben, and he's there. That was brave from Van Langendonk. Slater cuts through on the inside line, so too does Tiziano Monza. So some big moves there. Mies Huben is left hanging out to dry.
Yeah, Kit Belowski on the outside there just manages to get in the train as well. So he's up a couple of positions in this one. He's had a good start. Train really starting to form here now as they dive down into it. And Belowski again down the inside getting the move done. I think that was on Tiziano Monza. And I think he has managed to get that one done. Mies Huben in that fray as well. Certainly it's getting very tight and very dramatic at the front here again as people try to make the moves change for second place. As it looks like Bondarev now back up into that top spot. No, it's Ramakas who's back up into the second place spot. Now it's Van Langendonk in third place. He has recovered well, though, from that bad start and the rest of the field, and they've actually started to break away now from the rest of the field.
This is going to be interesting. You've got Monza, Slater and Belovski having a terrific battle, and Slater's gone up over the top of Monza. Oh, very unfortunate as Slater tries his luck on Tiziano Monza. The gap didn't seem to be there, and poor Tiziano Monza and Alfie Slater go out of this race on only lap 4. Big disappointment for both men.
I think Tiziano Monza's radiator will have been destroyed from that one. I saw the plumes of water kicking up in the air, so I don't think he wants to keep that one going. And no, he has pulled over at the side of the circuit and he is out of this race. Slater, though, is trying to get his car pushed off the grass and give it a go, but he has run out of steam and he can't do it. Change, though, for the lead as Martinez holds on to it, and Ramakas was down the inside trying to get that position done. He couldn't quite do it. Van Langendonk has latched onto that rear bumper, though, and the top three are very, very close.
We've got an argument down the main straight between Andy Consani and Mies Huben. Andy Consani was not happy at all with the lack of space that Mies Huben gave him, and so he was gesticulating down the straight as Dries Van Langendonk makes the move on the inside of Timo Ramakas. Ramakas is in the lead. Van Langendonk now second, so Martinez down to third. Bondarev sets the fastest lap. Fifth place is now Belovski, and then sixth is Huben, in front of Consani, I do believe. No, it's now Scott Lindblom. So Lindblom has made his way through to 7th place in front of Consani, when then Nito and Montero. Warning flag comes up for the 82, and that is obviously going to come with a 5-second penalty attached to it. So that is disastrous for one driver in the field, and that is Tiziano Monza. Now, that's a big call, actually.
Well, there we go. But, you know, I'm looking here, and I think a driver who is in trouble is actually Stepan Antonov, the driver in the 69, who is currently in 15th place. He started this one on the second row in P4, and he's second in the championship. He needs to get a wiggle on here if he wants to gain any more championship points. Remember, championship points have already been awarded for the qualifying heats that we saw yesterday. We are going to be seeing some more at the end of the super heats, and of course, crucially, the 30 championship points at the end of the final, plus the fastest lap point.
So Ramakas leads the way from Dries Van Langendonk, the Belgian in the Forza Racing car. Bondarev having worked his way past Martinez into third position. This is not disaster area for Bondarev by any means at all. Being in the top 3 will more than happily give him the pole position. Here's a replay of Slater going up and over the top of Tiziano Monza, and you can see there the water billowing out of the radiator on Monza's kart. I said to see him being given the warning flag, that's tough. That's a tough call.
Certainly, but they've got better eyes on the incident from what we do. There's a nice little change there down the inside.
Bondarev to second, so he gets the move then on Van Langendonk. And watch Martinez. Martinez's got a brilliant run on the Belgian now. He's going to try diving up the inside into third position. Bellissimo. Fabulous job there from Martinez to get into third place.
Yes, indeed. Nice little change. And Van Langendonk certainly is having to work hard in this race. Bondarev, though, doing exactly what he needs to do. He took the maximum points in the junior class yesterday after 5 out of 5 race wins. If we could win this one, that would certainly help his championship fight. He sits 5th in the point standings. He's about 50 points behind Lewis Werrell in the standings. And there is still plenty of points up for grabs over the course of the year. It is still doable.
Let's give some kudos to the man who is currently chasing after the quartet in 5th position. Kit Belovski has suddenly this weekend turned his form around. He's really clicked with the OK Birolart now. And on the back straight, he is absolutely chasing after Ramakas, Bondarev, Martinez, Van Langendonk. This is definitely Kit Belovski's best weekend in the category so far, as the number 71, the Birolart red and white machine, finds himself closing down on these guys. We've got yellow flags up at turn 5. And we've got a couple of karts there having gone. It is one of the Pragas by the look of it. And also the 138 has gone. I'm afraid that is Tom Pappenburg. So it looks like Chartier and also Jing Haozhai has gone off the road at the same time. So that's actually a 3-kart incident.
Yeah, that is not what you need, especially in the middle point of this race. And they have certainly had a scrap. They were all running right next to each other as well, so something tells me one went for the move and then someone got caught up in it as well on the way in. So not what you want to see, but it is what it is, and that will certainly bring an end to their super heat. We'll hopefully see them out later on today, but that's certainly going to make it very difficult for them. Stepan Antonov now with the fastest lap of the race. He is still pushing his way through the field. He is now in P14 on the recovery drive back to the front of the grid as we keep our eyes on this battle here for P3. Van Langendonk still over the rear bumper of Jacopo Martinez, who is just doing exactly what he needs to do here. He's had a pretty solid weekend, has Martinez. Started this one on the third row. His worst result this weekend has been a 15th. His best result was a second. He qualified P8, and he sits 6th in the championship. So he's certainly doing what he needs to do this weekend to gain those championship points.
So the warning flag for the previous incident, there goes the way of Zhang Hojai. So it's unfortunately him that's deemed the one that gets the warning flag and the 5-second penalty that goes with it. Not that it changes anything because he's out of the race. So on the far side, we have Ramekers leading the race. Bondarev in second position. Third is Martinez. Fourth is Dries Van Langendonk. And in fifth position, it is Kit Belowski. If the race were to end like this, then Bondarev would end on 319 points. A very respectable score. That's 319, by the way, out of a possible 325. So the only thing he wouldn't have won is this heat. Check this out. Between Tom Pappenborg and Alex Chartier. Chartier is fuming. Pappenborg is blameless as far as he's concerned. And two very unhappy campers.
Well, there you go. Again, it just shows how much it means to these drivers to make it into the final. Remember, making it into a final over the course of these weekends is not an easy thing to do. And these drivers certainly showing that they have a true passion for the sport, even at a young age. And that's fantastic, you know, and that's why we always say, even when the drivers get older, they always come back to the world of karting because it is just the place where they are born as a racing driver.
We've got near on 100 drivers bidding for 36 seats, so getting into the final and the 36 remaining places in the weekend, that is a victory in and of itself. Just getting there is a massive achievement when all of these drivers that are gathered from all over the world have to bid for those spots. 2 to go. Ramekers has driven beautifully in this one out in front. No major mistakes at all for the young Belgian, as he has really mastered himself into a winning position up front. He continues to make that massive progress. This is his coming of age year, isn't it, Thibaut Ramekers? He's had his moments in the past, and he certainly looked pretty quick in his days as a cadet, in his days as a mini, and here he is as a junior, and he is definitely a major force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, he was very dominant at the start of the season this year. It's dropped a little bit off on the middle stage, but like you say, it's just one of those things, isn't it? You can have your on moments, you can have your off moments, and every driver goes through those, but he is certainly making sure that this weekend he is on top form, and he is doing just that. 1.1 seconds clear here from Bondarev, who right now has not got anything left in the bag to really retaliate here as we go on to the final lap. That gap now 1.2 seconds. Thibaut Ramekers leading by quite some way.
And this is all fine and dandy as far as the Belgian is concerned. It's going to raise him to a score of 265, only about 27 points back from Dries Van Langendonk. It really gives him the chance to fight for the victory in the final later, and that's where you get the big points. So Thibaut Ramekers, he has timed it to perfection this morning. He was quick in warm-up. He's very quick indeed in the race here. He doesn't need to push himself too much into a corner. He's kept it nice and tidy. His rivals Bondarev, Martinez and Van Langendonk have been well and truly squared away by the Kart Republic on this occasion, and the Belgian talent Thibaut Ramekers will come off the final turn, take the checkered flag, and in fight style it's Thibaut Ramekers that gets the job done ahead of Bondarev, Martinez, Van Langendonk and the young Brit Kit Belowski. Some brilliant racing there in the top 5, but for Thibaut Ramekers, he has proven, and he is the first one to prove this week, that Bondarev can be beaten.
Oh yes, indeed, he can be beaten. That would be the first time that Bondarev has not had a top spot, but certainly he is in good step though for the final later on today. He has 319 points to his name as he goes back in towards Parc Fermé. Certainly a good way to start the day. Superheat 1 done and dusted then, like we were saying. Ramekers from Bondarev, Martinez from Van Langendonk, Belowski, like you're saying, that one, quite a few. What was that, about 8 retirements? That was a very busy race.
Certainly was. Thibaut Ramekers taking the win then from Alexander Bondarev, Jacopo Martinez ahead of Dries Van Langendonk and Kit Belowski. Scott Lindblom, Marianito doing well in 7th place there in front of Noah Wolf. Then David Kozma and Noah Montero, Mies Huben and Stepan Antonov from Adi Consani, Lewis Francis and Jensen Burnett of Canada. Then it is Jendro Beschel in front of Muller-Lodot, the race this afternoon. As you mentioned earlier, a very busy race indeed. Let's go over the highlights from the OK Junior Superheat 1A. It was looking good at the start for Bondarev. However, his Kart Republic stablemates gave him plenty of action all the way through from the starting point. It was always going to be a tricky one. But when Alexander Bondarev held the lead in the early stages, he had no idea that he was going to have both Tibor Ramakas and Jacopo Martinez up the inside to take him on. Mies Huben tried to get the move done. Bondarev was quick to retaliate, got the move on Ramakas, but then there were a couple of other drivers who were making good moves through that one. Kit Belowski working himself into a decent top 5 position. Alfie Slater, unfortunately tumbling over the top of Tiziano Monza's radiator. Both drivers out of the race in that exact moment. So very unfortunate to see both drivers disappearing from the fray. But Ramakas gave as good as he got. Once he caught his teammate Martinez, he made his moves very swift and fluid. Dries van Langendonk in the battles, so too Alexander Bondarev. It was questioned between all 4 of them, but Ramakas would eventually emerge in front of Bondarev, Martinez and Dries van Langendonk, being chased down all the way by the Biralat of Kit Belowski. It was great to see the great charges and the amazing overtaking moves from our competitors. Not everybody saw eye to eye. Sadly, Tom Pappenberg and Alex Chartier falling out, both of the race and with each other. But the victory going the way of Tibor Ramakas in the first superheat, that elevates him to the top 6